And we are live, guys. Welcome to yet another live stream from Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling, and today I would like to talk about the topic at hand. You do not need an academic education. It is completely a squandering of your time and your money. Now we're setting aside, okay, you need some approval from the government to practice as an accountant or as a real estate broker, in Norway at least, or as a doctor. Okay, there are certain professions that you need an academic education from the government. All right, so if you absolutely have to become one of those professions, then you have to go to school. But in terms of the high value process, the high value system, we do not recommend anyone to go to school for 3 to 5 years of extra curriculum, extra years after high school. It is completely unnecessary. You don't need it. In terms of high school, even that, okay, that's my personal opinion. You don't even need high school in order to become successful and have a fantastic life. Why do I say that? I say that because, let's say for example, you want to retire at 30 or at 40. Let's say 40 for safety's sake, because many people don't believe they can retire at 30, but it actually is pretty easy, even on a low salary. Now let's say you want to retire at 40. In terms of getting to 40, let's say a guy starts to save or invest at 20 years old. Now he can choose. He can go 3 to 5 years to study at a school, let's say 5 years to study, and then at the end of that period he'll start out with probably maybe a higher salary. And then he can be able to put more aside, hopefully, into his investments. Now let's say he saves over those 15 years, and then you compare that to a guy who starts working. He starts his work life, he starts his success journey. The other guy in college or university, he doesn't start his success journey before after he studies, all right? So there you have this guy who's 20 years old, he's starting out and he knows nothing, all right? But what he starts doing is he starts meeting people, he starts developing a network, he starts developing workman-like diligence, he starts tinkering with being self-employed, and maybe even starting his own business properly. And then he invests his money every single month, every single month. He has a 5-year head start on the guy that goes to college. Now, if you compare that mathematically and financially, and you look at those numbers of what happens when someone starts 5 years in advance of someone else, it's intense. In addition, at the same time, this guy who went to college, he's usually ends up with student loans. He also ends up with status, all right, which means that he feels a little bit entitled perhaps, or he's learned some things about how the world is, but in reality it's not like that. That's what you do in university. And he's learned it from college professors that very often, I'm talking 95% of the time, are people who are not successful. These are academics, people who are studying, who are learning. Great. Where did they learn it from? They learned it from books. And normally, authors are people who haven't done the real deal themselves. Now, there's an exception to the rule, of course, in every single case. But I'm just talking in general terms. Academic professors, academia in general, are people who do not produce business. Okay, they don't create, they don't expand, they don't become multi-million-dollar CEOs or owners of businesses. And this is what the high value system is and what it's all about. And I'm not talking about what everyone should be doing, okay? We need some people to go to school to get those certifications according to what the government desires. But in the high value system, the high value system is a competitor against academia and against college or university, all right? Because high value system is an education. We educate people to become leaders, world-class leaders, level 5 leaders according to Good to Great, and we help them to do that by focusing on entrepreneurship, cutting down your costs, increasing your income, and creating a high quality life. By reading books, yes. By learning from mentors, yes. By being coached to overall increase your emotional stability, to create habits into your life that creates a consistency that leads to exponential growth. That is the reason why I do not recommend going to college or going to university, because you can start the high value system at 18. You can start the high value system at 12 years old. My sons most probably will never go one day in school, but they will be schooled on a daily basis by me and my wife from the get-go. And that process has already started, and I'm fired up and excited about it, and I'm so grateful that in Norway it is legal to homeschool. This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling, and tomorrow I will see you once again.